evening and thanks for joining us. The Thunder Bay Superior North Progressive Conservative Party will be looking for a new candidate after Tamara Johnson was booted off the ballot by party officials. Officials are reacting to comments made earlier this month that suggest Aboriginal businesses on Fort William First Nation and across the province enjoyed a business advantage. In a carefully worded letter to Dougal Media, Johnson said no truly civilized society and no truly democratic society can exist where its laws are not enforced evenly, fairly, and justly. That the laws of Ontario must apply to everyone equally. Johnson said no time after being specifically asked to run for the party did anyone from the Conservatives say she couldn't speak the truth. Last Friday, Johnson traveled to Toronto to attend candidate school. She said the PC Party of Ontario allowed her to believe she was a candidate until 5 p.m. on Saturday when two party officials met with her and threw her out. The Ontario PC Party website has already removed Johnson from their candidates list. A request for comment from Thunder Bay Superior North President Adam Schooler or the party itself has been made. City police are requesting the public's help in locating a missing individual. 28-year-old Paul Anthony Gro was last seen on January 28th in the Cumberland Street area. Thunder Bay Police Service believe he may be on the south side of the city. Gro is described as 5'11", Caucasian male weighing approximately 160 pounds with a thin build and light complexion. Anyone who sees Gro is asked to contact the Criminal Investigation Branch. The owners of a vacant building on Memorial Avenue are looking to convert it into a bingo hall, nightclub, and gaming facility. The change of use at the site, formerly known as Roxy's and Tonic, comes to council tomorrow night. The owner of the property has entered into an agreement with Thunder Bay Community Bingo. The organization will be providing regular bingo and e-bingo in the facility. That was originally slated to open next month. Now, the property owner also plans to put an addition onto the building where the former outdoor patio was for a new nightclub. Council will also get a report from Animal Services on regulating the number of pets per household. The department looked at what other cities have done and determined there should not be a limit. The minister responsible for Fred Nord doesn't want to speculate on the city's chances of getting millions of dollars in federal money for the proposed event center. Greg Rickford was in Thunder Bay this past week to announce federal funding for the third phase of the project. Senior levels of government each provided $577,000. The federal government recently unveiled a 10-year, $14 billion infrastructure program. Rickford says it will be up to the city to decide what projects it applies for.
I'm going to speculate at this point. Obviously, the application process starts in earnest this spring. I leave those priorities up to the communities and to the province.
Rickford believes Thunder Bay and the region deserves a venue like the proposed event center, but he believes it's too early in the process to talk about the tens of millions of dollars the city will be looking for from the federal government. 95% of Lake Superior is already frozen, but that's not stopping Terrace Bay from dreaming of summers ahead. Waterfront improvement has been discussed since 1972, but Terrace Bay has now released the plan's very first blueprints. They paint 6 vibrant backdrops of commercial and residential development. The municipality has placed bids on portions of 26 kilometers of lakefront property, particularly along its harbor and bordering the golf course. Terrace Bay's 2009 strategic plan called for identifying tourism as a future economic driver. Mayor Jody Davis says partnerships now need to be developed with Parks Canada, the Ministry of Natural Resources, and private developers.
Developing commercial potential. I think if we decide to go ahead and we get the funding partners to developing the first stages of marina, developing a breakwater and that sort of stuff to help the marina start off is critical. And then we could slowly develop those opportunities in the future. It takes a number of years to develop.
Davis anticipates the economic engine of a developed waterfront would encourage niche tourism like kayaking, fishing, and tours through the Slate Islands and the old ghost town of Jackfish. Meanwhile, another recreation project is stirring in Kenora. It's a multi-million-dollar infrastructure project that would combine sports and culture. The target, expanding the Kenora Recreation Center. The proposed expansion to the rec center will add a second regulation ice surface and could include a 500-seat auditorium. The 4 options range from $17 million to $25 million. The cultural community in Kenora has been pushing for art space since 2007 and is regarded as a key stakeholder in the rec center's expansion. Although the consultant's report warns of lost opportunities if the expansion is deferred, Kenora Mayor Davis Canfield insists the idea will fall into the hands of the next council, which will be elected in this coming fall.
We have not said we're building an event center, and I think we clarified that at the committee of the whole meeting today. We're going through the process, and at the end of the process, it will tell us whether we need it and whether we can afford it. And at the end of the day, the decision of the council of the day will have to make a decision on whether the needs are there, whether you can afford it, and give the public all the information so they know, okay, if we build this facility and it's going to up your taxes 5%, you still want the facility.
The report says operational costs to the taxpayer can be minimized with what it calls aggressive programming, but it also concedes that capital funding from support from senior levels of government are essential if the expansion is to take place. Students at Confederation College got some inspiration this past week after watching a local documentary called Ordinary Woman, Extraordinary Dream. The film follows Maggie Sophia, quadriplegic, and her inspiring dream to return home to her isolated First Nation. Maggie Sophia grew up in the far north community of Summer Beaver. At the age of 11, she was paralyzed in a diving accident. Maggie and her family had to move to Thunder Bay as she required medical care and support that was just not available in her remote community. Her dream was to one day visit home, even though it seemed impossible with the lack of resources. Darren Wellington with Spinal Cord Injury Ontario was one of the support workers that accompanied Maggie on her journey. He says it can be challenging to live in a remote community when you have a disability, but as this film shows, anything is possible.
It's meant to be an inspirational film about overcoming adversity and still continuing to pursue your dreams, and also challenging the perception of disability and focusing on ability and the idea that you're still able to really achieve a lot of great things.
Person with disability, and I want to be a great example that you don't have to be not doing anything. You're still able to.
The film was followed by an interactive discussion involving the college students who said they were inspired after watching the film. Although Maggie's tragic accident is the central part of this film, there are also many other tragedies exposed, such as high suicide rates and other First Nation issues. Ordinary Woman, Extraordinary Dream is now available on DVD. It may not have been one of the coldest nights we've experienced in the last while, but it was pretty chilly. The coldest night of the year, Fight Against Poverty and Homeless took to the streets Saturday night to raise money for those who need it most. Over 39 teams bundled up to take part in the second annual event. Around 275 people walked either 5 or 10 kilometers trying to raise over $60,000. 63 other cities across Canada also hosted the walk. The reason the event happens in the winter is so that the people who participate get to experience the harsh perspective of what it would be like to live on the streets when the temperature hits below zero.
Experience a little bit about what it's like to have to walk and wander the streets and having no place to go and that sort of thing. And the meal that we're serving is a chili meal, and it's similar to the meals that we would serve at Grace Place or you would get at the shelter house and that sort of thing. So yes, people get an idea what it's like to be out in the cold.
Money raised goes to kitchen construction project at Grace Place that will help in serving hot meals to the less fortunate. 9 years after closing, the former Fort William Collegiate Institute gym is open for business. Giants Gymnastics will be offering classes full-time in one of the best facilities in the region. As Mike Albanese reports, the owner and her students couldn't wait to try out the new space and show off their moves.
Fort William Collegiate Institute has been shut down since 2005, but the building itself isn't going anywhere. Giant Gymnastics has moved into the building on a 10-month lease, and they couldn't be happier. Jennifer Nudgel, owner of Giant Gymnastics, spoke about her first reactions when her real estate agent showed her the property.
She told me that the old FWCI gymnasium was up for grabs, and I came to take a look, and it is awesome. It is lovely with 30-foot ceilings and 14,000 square feet. It is the largest in northwestern Ontario, so it has been amazing to come in here. It's just beautiful.
Nedgel set up a plan of action to get up and running quickly. In phase 1 of her plan, she got as much new equipment into the gym as she could, which was about $100,000 worth. Phase 2 is to add even more additional equipment. She also needed help getting the gym set up quickly. That's where the families of the gymnasts came in.
With the move, we did it within 3 days. So with a lot of help from our lovely parents that came and helped us out. It was just amazing what they did to get the equipment down in 45 minutes, and then it took 10 hours to get the equipment here and up. And it went without a hitch because of the lovely people that are involved with Giant Gymnastics. It's just amazing that it could get done in such a quick amount of time.
Everyone at the gym referred to each other like a family where the kids come first. With 1,000 current members and a hope that with their new domain they can increase to 2,500, you would think it would be hard to keep the family spirit. Mackenzie LaRock is a gymnast, and after hurting her arm, she had proof the spirit was there.
My favorite part is probably my team, how they always take care of me, and if I'm hurt, just a couple days ago I got hurt, and they took care of me. They helped me get through it.
The rest of the building Giant Gymnastics isn't using is set to become condominiums. Wouldn't that be something? To live where you graduated. Mike Albanese, TBT News.